The Cherokees saw what happened to the Creeks, and they didn't want to share the same fate. They thought that if they learned to live like the whites, they could live peacefully alongside them. They believed that if they accepted white culture, they could live in Georgia, on the land of their mothers and fathers, forever.
Pause. Did you hear what he just said? We know why the Native Americans lost their land, but we don't think any more of it like, how did it start? Why did it happen? What was the reason? The first discovered indigenous people were the Creeks in Georgia. They were far by the most populous and owned the most amount of territory in this region. With white colonial Georgians, the Creeks became a key commercial partner. They would even intermarry with the colonists. The colonists hoped that the Creeks would integrate into their plantation economy. Gold is a yellow metallic element that occurs naturally in pure form and is used especially in coins, jewelry, and electronics. One of the most precious and expensive materials dated back in 1800s. And we all know what greed can do to society. With the discovery of gold in 1829, the United States saw its second major gold rush. This time period is known as the Georgia Gold Rush. The news traveled like wildfire, and white men went in to take control of the Cherokee-occupied property almost immediately. All past treaties between the Cherokee and the United States government have been voided. Cherokee villages were set on fire and destroyed. President Andrew Jackson, whom they have formerly regarded as an ally, was of no assistance, as he rejected the Cherokees' pleading and even removed all federal troops from their sacred area. Between 1805 and 1833, the state of Georgia used the land lottery system as a way of strengthening the state and growing the population. The land lottery was a system where someone would randomly draw out from a box. This system helped him provide a family between 200 and 1,000 acres of land. Men were able to gain power by giving them land. Farmers flocked to the area in search of lush farmland. Rangers came to Georgia in quest of grazing land for their animals. So basically, the Georgia land lottery system was a land redistribution in Georgia during the early 19th century. While it may sound great to promote more white settlers to move in, that would mean the government would have access to more land and give acres of land in a way to provide land for their people. This caused tension among the Cherokees and English settlers. Why do you ask? Because they need land, and to get land, the settlers would have to steal land from the Cherokees and Creeks. At this time, Native Americans understood the American government on how their system works. They tried to sue the government for breaking the Treaty of Hopewell, which includes agreements extending the friendship and protection of the United States. But Andrew Jackson had other plans and kicked out many Native Americans who had no other choice and moved out, which is now known as the Trails of Tears. Review time. What was the contribution of why the Native Americans lost their land? A. Fighting gold. B. Using it as a land lottery. C. Greed. D. All of the above. D. It's all of the above. Number 2. How did the Native American live after their first encounter with the settlers? A. Had an awesome tea party. B. They would intermarry with the colonists. C. They became gold miners. D. I don't know. The answer is B. They would intermarry with the colonists. Question 3. What was the one thing the settlers were greedy about? A. Crops. B. Water. C. Gold. D. Animals. The answer should be C. Gold.
Good job!
The reason why this event is important is because the Cherokees were forced to migrate out of their land. It demonstrates that greed can change people, and people who are consumed by greed will frequently disregard the harm that their actions may cause to others. Bad paths allow us to gain a better grasp of the world we live in.